Hi, welcome to the 13th floor. I'm Marty Duda. Today we have Finn Andrews with us. Welcome, Finn. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
And you're here because you have a new album coming out under your own name. It's the first time, right?
Yes, yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to be on your own and have your name on a thing. Does it seem to change something? I don't know why, but it does.
And was there some kind of monumental reason why you decided to go solo as opposed to a release of Veils record?
No, it wasn't really a monumental any occurrence or anything. It just sort of wrote some songs that didn't seem to work with the band, and yeah, I think it was sort of getting out of London as well seemed important.
Right.
To sort of, I don't know, there was some weird similarities between the sort of first Veils record, which kind of led me out of here,
right,
back to London. And this one did seem to be pointing back here. Why, I'm not sure.
So are you living back in New Zealand on regular basis now?
Well, it's kind of temporary. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunately always a bit temporary wherever I end up. I'm going back over to Europe in May to start the touring there. But it's the longest I've spent here since I was 16. Yes.
And how does it feel to be back here on a semi-regular basis or a semi-permanent basis?
It's been great. Yeah. It's sort of wherever I end up. You sort of get you get about a year, and then you start missing sort of the other side a bit. I guess my dad's over there, and like half my sort of life is always split. So that's but it's all right. I'm coming to terms with that a little bit.
It's probably going to be that way, like from here on, isn't it?
You're
just go back and forth.
It's an irreconcilable issue, probably. Yeah.
The life of a musician. So you say the songs that are on One Piece at a Time seem to not fit in with what the Veils are doing.
Yeah.
Why do you think that these songs that are different came about at that particular time?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's sort of happened a few times with me. It's always at a bad time. Like, it probably would have been a good time to have made another Veils record, and we were sort of building up a good head of steam with that. And then I just sort of wrote a bunch of songs that didn't fit in that world, and then, it wasn't a great move probably to do this right now, but it seems to work like that with me. I think also every record seems to be a bit of an antidote to the last one, and the last one was so fiddly, and it was over about 3 years with all these different producers and different places, and it's all very electronic and MIDI and all these sort of really pain in the ass sort of elements to it.
Right.
So I think it was nice to come and just make something with a band in a room, and we did the whole thing in a week.
Really?
It's really but it's really about 3 years of writing and then a week of recording. That sort
and
of
did you record it here in New Zealand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in Mount Eden, just up the road.
Great. At the lab?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you did it in a week, and so for folks, most people haven't heard it yet because it's just barely. It's out when?
It's out on Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So just give an overview of kind of what the sound is. I've heard it, so I know it's pretty much piano based. But other than that, what else would you say about it?
It was double bass and piano and strings, and it was all recorded live. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still making sense of it a little bit. It's certainly it's a lot more kind of intimate sounding maybe than the Veils stuff. I'm singing very differently. It was all we didn't have headphones or anything. It was all just in the room, and nothing could be louder than the piano. So that sort of dictated the sound a little bit.
Right.
But it was nice. It was nice to make something here. I'd never made anything here. I was basically sort of put in touch with all of Tiny Ruins' band, so they sort of became my band for a week, and they brought a lot to the sound as well, and Tom Healy, who produced it as well.
Right. So the singing, does the environment and that recording technique, the fact that everything is kind of lower key, affect how you sing and how you present the songs?
Yeah, it did seem to. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think getting to know your voice seems to be a lifelong thing. It does keep changing, and I think the Veils are sort of loud as well, so you end up having to just sort of howl just to sort of be heard over the cacophony of noise from them, and like guitars are just fucking loud, and I don't know, pianos do lend themselves to a different style of singing, I guess. And like I don't know, there's a bit of an internal wrestling match with the piano. I have a lot of good piano players in my family, and I'm not a good piano player, so it's sort of like I'm kind of I feel like I'm going into my dad's territory a little bit as well, and he's very good. I can only play sort of pretty rudimentary chords.
So have you spoken to him about this, or kind of?
Yeah, he really loved this one actually, which is nice. Yeah, he liked it, so that's good.
Well, let's talk about some of the individual songs, and I think the one that I found most immediately striking was "One by Venom," or "One by the Venom," I should say. What can you tell me about that one?
Yeah, it was just a obsessive sort of list that I started writing of just different ways to die, and it sort of just seemed funny. I think I was getting the tube a lot into our studio. It's on the other side of town, and so I had a lot of time just to sort of noodle away. So it ended up sort of like 30 verses or something, so I really compressed it down. But yeah, it's sort of taken on a whole other meaning now with we've been making a video for it that's probably the most time-consuming music video. I mean, it's got to be up there with the most time-consuming music video ever made, surely.
Is it going to take longer to make the video than the album?
God, yeah. Like, I was thinking that, how, man, it really was a crazy amount of different, yeah. I mean, it's been like 8 months, basically, sort of intermittently, and maybe a year of sort of planning things, and like, we're basically just trying to film every death that's mentioned in it, make something for every death, sort of a representation of some kind. And we had no money, so we were just sort of like, what we don't have in money we'll make up for in time.
In effort.
Yeah.
Nice one.
And the director, Alex Gander, who I grew up with, just really put everything into it, but it's been a very consuming little thing. But it's worked out really good. It's it's only 2.5 minutes as well. The whole thing's ridiculous. It's 8 months into.
It hasn't been released yet, right?
No, in like a week or so. I think.
Oh, good! I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's a funny. My mum said it was like Adam Curtis meets Beetlejuice, which I quite liked.
Well, there's kind of like a bit of a Hollywood theme running through some of the songs. You have Al Pacino and Hollywood Forever. So, is that a running thread in your life or in your thought process?
Well, Al Pacino was apparently my first words, which I'd always heard since I was a kid. And then Dad had found these old tapes that he'd made on whatever the sort of early 80s equivalent of a dictaphone was. Yeah, and it's me and him, me talking about Al Pacino as a small child.
So there's the intro to that is
there's
a little excerpt.
That is? Yeah, just yeah, so it's funny. I think he must have had to say Al Pacino around me a lot.
Why would he do that?
Yeah, it's an odd. He just thought it'd be funny. I guess it was. Borderline child abuse, I think it's
and then Hollywood Forever, is that kind of?
Well, that was we made a few records in LA, and that's the name of the cemetery there. I just thought it was a great name for a cemetery. The idea of being in Hollywood forever, it just seems too long, really. But it's a great name for a cemetery. And Sophie and I sort of talked about, one day ending up there, and that would be quite a cool place to end up. So it's sort of a song about her, actually, a little bit, I think.
Who is that?
Soph, who plays bass in the Veils.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's a sort of like a friendship song about a cemetery in LA. One of those.
It's kind of a bonding thing.
Yeah.
So some of the songs on the record or tracks are just kind of you and piano, and then others are a little more fleshed out. So what was the process of deciding? Was there at a point where you decided you were going to have more instrumentation, or were you originally going to be just piano and voice? How did the whole thing?
Yeah, it's sort of, as always, it sort of spiraled out of control. The whole idea was sort of to do it totally on my own, and then I'd sort of tour on my own. That was the whole thing, and now I'm touring with like a 6-piece band. So I don't know, it just sounds good. It just sounds good with strings and all of that. Victoria Kelly wrote these beautiful
great
string arrangements, and so that sort of that really rose the sort of suddenly had all these beautiful string arrangements, and sort of seemed a shame to
the Spirit in the Flame I have noted as one particular striking string arrangement.
It's lovely, that one.
And did you collaborate much with Victoria as far as coming up with these arrangements, or just say, here you go, do your thing?
I'd like to say I was more involved, but I wasn't. She just totally nailed it. It's sort of one of those funny, you just meet someone and you know it's gonna go really well. It was sort of one of those. It made a real sort of great friend from that. There's been some really great friendships that came out of making this record, which is a really lovely sort of part of making things, which you don't always get. Sometimes you make enemies and sometimes you make friends. This time we made a lot of friends.
Oh, that's good to know. Who's on the backing vocals on some of those?
It's Reb Fountain.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and Nina Siegler. They were singing, together.
I don't know Nina, but I know Reb very well.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she's playing a band called Family Cactus back in the day.
Family Cactus.
That's a good Wellington band. So the two of them.
So now the next thing is a tour, and you said you got like a 6-piece band.
Yeah.
So who's in the band, and what's going on with the tour?
Yeah, we're having our first rehearsal today, 2 days before the tour starts, so that's good, not at all stressful. We've got Joe McCullum flying up from Christchurch, and Dave Kahn, and Emily Giles, and Mike Hall. And then Reb Fountain's coming along as well, and Nina's singing, and we're starting in WOMAD basically on the weekend.
Oh, right.
And then the Auckland show's in at the Town Hall Concert Chamber on the 30th.
It'd be nice at the Town Hall. I just saw, who was it that I saw there the other day?
You saw Beach House.
Beach House,
because I saw you seeing them.
Did you?
Yeah. And Rufus, of course. Rufus was great.
Yeah, twice at the Town Hall. And when you see a show like Beach House or Rufus Wainwright, does any of what you are you thinking about your own, what you do, and kind of comparing it and thinking,
obviously, yeah. It's the Rufus Wainwright show was great. It's really cool seeing people doing these, it's such a pro show, all of that, I'm always such a mess with these things. I'm always turning up with broken cables and I've never really gotten good at being pro. I would like to. It would be a nice thing to feel like just there and I'm on it and everything's like fucking working well. I always seem to fuck up some element of it.
It's bound to happen eventually. Keep going, and by the time you're 50 or so, you probably have it down.
That would be nice. Turn up with a working lead, and that'd be cool.
Plug in and make some noise.
It's hard to be professional. It doesn't come easily to everyone.
Cool. And what is the status of the Veils? Is it on hiatus as the band, or is it done with, or what?
Man, I don't know. I haven't written a song in fucking ages. I don't know what that means. It's been a year basically since I've written I usually write every day. I haven't written a song in a year. So I don't know, maybe that dictates what happens. Maybe one day you just wake up and you never write a song again. I'm not sure. It would make the decision easier, I suppose. If you just don't write a song again, then I guess you just have to stop, don't you? Or just sort of play covers or something. So I don't know. That's an odd. I've also been in this weird sort of holding pattern, waiting for this record to come out. Right. And sometimes it's hard to move on when there's all this crap still on your desk.
Waiting to, you got to get it out of the way. And then
maybe in 3 days, I'll feel a weight lift and I'll be able to think of writing something again.
Cool.
But if not, yeah. I have to think of something else to do with my
I have
time.
a feeling something will come along.
Man,
You've been doing this for a while now, so yeah.
I don't know how many songs you get though. Maybe you only get a few. I did start when I was quite young.
Yeah.
Maybe I used them up.
Oh dear.
Yeah. You never
Well,
know,
let's
I
hope
guess.
that's not the case. But thank you for stopping by and talking
Cheers.
to me. I can't
My
wait to
last
see the
ever
show at the
interview.
town hall because I've seen you there already a couple times.
Yeah.
In the audience,
It'll
so
be-
we need to see you up on
Yeah,
stage.
I'll be watching you watching me. for a
That'll be
change.
yeah. Fantastic. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you, Marty.
All
Yeah,
right.
cheers.